Easy. I need access to the
National Criminal Database.
It's right here.
You must spend a lot of time here.
Cool poem box. You're bypassing the network security. But you'll need to physically bridge the intranet to the external telecom wires if you want to uplink remotely.
This kind of
Knowledge could get a young girl into a lot of trouble.
They run under the building.
What
What
does?
does?
The telecom wires. You can access them through the sewers. Wait. Why do you do what you do?
Because I made a promise.
Alright then, we are now back for more of punching crime in the face. This is Arkham Twin Days. Hi there, viewers and gamers alike out there. I'm Leo Wolverine, your game commentator of Arkham Twin Days, founding member of Leo's Let's Plays Alliance. So, as we're gonna continue more of the Arkham Origins storyline, so here we go, napping boys and girls and ladies and gentlemen. Time to wake up and hear more of the story. Okay, so since he is able to collect all the, since he is able to download or upload something off his poem box, he needs to go to under the sewers where the telecom wires are at. And that's what Barbara Gordon said something about the finding it over there, underneath the sewers. So he is able to go under the sewers, but he sees something. Batman says, "Why is Black Mask putting barrel bombs under the GCPD? I thought he owns this place. Or I thought he owns it or something." But Batman believes something is not right. Something is off. Why would Black Mask would want to blow up GCPD underneath it? I mean, that he owns part. I mean, he kind of partly owns it, so somehow. But yet somehow it does. Yet somehow this Black Mask must be kind of twisted in some sort of way. So yeah. It was not feeling this kind of right or being comfortable at what is going on with. So he followed the barrels of explosions. Of course, he had to deal with more of these thugs or Black Mask thugs or somehow and so forth, including the pajama martial artists. That's right. Black Mask has his own martial artist to work with him. What do you know? Hooray! Besides the League of Assassins who are carrying swords with katanas. That's lovely. Use this sword to cut a piece of cheesecake, I presume. Thank you. And so for that matter... Oh boy, and so for that matter, it just... Oh my goodness. So, he is able to beat more of the martial artists for Black Mask, somehow able to stop them from what it's worth. Getting under the sewers, more of the barrel explosions that this crazy Black Mask person wants to do for, like, blowing it up. Of course, he had to find those telecom wires that follow straight underneath to it. And so for that, he's able to do it. He is able to download any information. He says the DNA tells more of the story. He does have a pacemaker. There is one thing that the police did overlook, is that the evidence points right on that Roman Sionis owns Gotham Merchants Bank. And it says here that he definitely, and it says here that he owns hundreds of millions of dollars worth of money inside that bank. And usually usually somehow he saw all these barrels of polyisotic butylene that creates explosives, if you want to know. So yeah. Now, and no, they're not making cement. And no, he is definitely not making cement. He is making explosives. This Black Mask character really wants to take out the GCPD so fast, so well, he doesn't care about the GCPD officers. So Batman explains to Alfred of what has happened. Someone has how do I say this? Someone has spooked Roman Sionis. Of course, he is being he's always paranoid that he has to survive this long. So this mystery person kinda come out of Nowheresville. You find this text message that says something about the Joker. So, who in the world is the Joker? So this Joker person kinda came in and he was kinda wanted to stop Black Mask. Of course, he only shot one of his not his clones, more like one of his lackeys or some sort that dress up and looks like Black Mask. Of course, Roman Sionis always wear a sports white coat jacket. It's amazing how he did survive this long. And so, for that matter, he tried to, how do I say this? This Joker person came in, and Roman Sionis believed that he can actually get the jump on this Joker. However, he lost. He had to kind of shoot one of his girlfriends, of course, because the Joker has the gun in his hand, giving it to him, to Roman Sionis, and shooting the one he loves. And it's just a sick and twisted mind. It was the Joker who has been falling all along underneath the shadow. It was the Joker that committed these crimes and murders the whole time. This is why he had to find a way to stop the Joker. Of course, if he finds out about this, this means that Roman Sionis is alive. So this means he was never dead. He never died. He is absolutely alive and strong and well. So, for that matter, he had to go to Gotham Merchants Bank. The only way, and that is how he'll find the Joker, who held Roman Sionis hostage completely. Oh boy. So he got into Gotham Merchants Bank. Of course, he had to, before he went to Gotham Merchants Bank, he had a secret, uninvited invitation by the Mad Hatter. Yes. So he has taken Alice hostage, of course. Of course, I know it's about these side quest missions and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, it's there, all right. It just never gets easy for Batman's job. On the double, of course, he had to face Shiva, you know, who was hired as an assassin to collect the bounty, of course. Oh boy, and usually Shiva wants to test Batman to see if he is worthy by saving a civilian's life and stopping this person. I mean, she likes to kind of commit her own vigilante justice. She's kind of like Ra's al Ghul, but she is she is an assassin, of course, or a bounty hunter. Of course, nobody knows her real name. Not even I do not know what her real name is. Of course, this might lead somewhat to the descent of you-know-who's descendant. And it's going to be very much indeed. Since Batman is able to best out Shiva, of course, Batman is not very pleased, and he says, "I don't care about you or your master. Either way, I'm turning you in." So, yeah, but Shiva says, "No, you're not." And why do you keep on trying to save Gotham? And she says, "It cannot be saved. This city will go down in history, and Gotham will fall, and it will soon be reborn, and out of the ashes reborn," if you want to know. She does a ninja vanish. So yeah, at least Shiva's, well, at least, great. More assassins with people who tried to take down Gotham's villainy and scum, and it's just not gonna work with Batman. Not under his watch. He will not commit the no-kill rule. The same thing he tried to do for what Ra's al Ghul's trying to do to him is the same thing that Shiva was supposed to do. Of course, both of them failed to try to get the Batman to kill, and by doing this for a good justice, Batman would not feel this way. How would he supposed to get rid of that kind of conscience? Where is he supposed to get rid of it? Tell me where. Any answers, Ra's al Ghul and Shiva? Oh, that's right, you don't. Because why? Because you don't care. Really, get with the program of the no-kill rule. It's not even fun for you and for me either. Oh my. So now, since he's in the bank, he finds it very disturbing that all these all these people of Roman Sionis' henchmen are absolutely destroyed or killed or somewhat, and so on and so forth.
This'll be easy.
Oh my. Why does it always get very hard? Of course, he is able to find a way to get to the other side of the bank somehow, inside the building through the vent, able to break through the open wall with the explosive gel. So Batman says, "Where is the Joker?" He says, "The Joker? Hey, mister, have you seen the Joker?" Yeah, and all of a sudden he pulls out, the thugs pull out this bag, and it's none other than Roman Sionis himself. And so, I mean, Roman Sionis is pretty mad of what is happening. Of course, what Batman wants to know who is under that black mask. Is it another henchman of some sort? So this guy who was wearing the black mask takes off his helmet, even though he giggles and laughs. He finally reveals to Batman, and it's none other than the Joker, who has no name, no alias. Just the Joker. Of course, he is the one who put the bounty on Batman's head. That's right, he is the one who has all the money And this is why he took needs the money all the way of Gotham Merchants Bank. And so for that matter, he had to find a way to... He confronted the Joker. Of course, the Joker had his pistol, shotting him in point-blank range. But thanks to Batman's somehow bulletproof armor, he is safe. But then there was this fiery explosion that goes out with a bang of some sort. Yes, the bank teller's dead, if you want to know, because she's been infected by Joker gas. And that is not good news. Oh my. How could anybody try to get out of a situation and predicament like this? Oh my. How could anybody survive an explosion? Even though he did survive the explosion, it's not a coincidence that the Joker finds out that he is actually alive that survived it. Oh my. What's going to get worse? He had to stop the Joker thugs who used to belong to Roman Sionis in the bank. Of course, he says, "Where is the Joker going?" He only kept one of the thugs alive who worked with the Joker. He said he's working for the steel mill. Of course, I mean, yeah, the steel mill. That is Sionis' mill. And he said, it was Sionis' mill, and it's Joker's mill now. So, yeah. Oh, my dandy. How could anybody can find it? So, he had to go to Sionis' mill, which is now Joker's mill. Thank you very much. Oh my. So he's able to get into the steel mill. Of course, he had to deal more of the thugs and the snipers that were coming more and more of a pain in the neck. Of course, I kind of left out one more bad guy or bad person villain who wants to collect the bounty. And it's, yeah, Batman doesn't realize that Copperhead is in this. So, yeah, I left out Copperhead, so I'm sorry. Of course, to be honest, I thought Copperhead was a guy and a dude who likes to take down his enemies, who's a contortionist. However, this Copperhead is a female and not a guy, so that was interesting, and she kind of looks like the Miley Cyrus look. Yeah, Miley, very, 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 very scary looking person who kind of looks like that. Oh my. That is just one way to put it in. Of course, he had to rescue Roman Sionis. However, he does have a pacemaker. Of course, when Batman is able to control his pacemaker, he says, "Where is the Joker?" And Roman Sionis still not in a good mood. Of course, he says, "I control your pacemaker. You want to feel what 250 beats per minute feels like?" He says, "You wouldn't dare." Oh yeah, Batman's gonna dare because he's not in the mood to know what happens with those who try to cross him. He wants to do justice. He wants to put these bad guys away for good, out of the streets, so we can have more clean streets where people will be safe away from the people who are trying to blackmail the citizens of Gotham. Of course, he did rescue Roman Sionis. Of course, then Copperhead had to poison Batman to find that one sweet weak spot above the neck, or somewhere on the neckline, or something. He was fading fast. He had to find a way that what Copperhead left behind to find this poison, that some sort. The only way to get himself cured with an antidote. He is able to find one drop of poison, and he is able to whip up an antidote back in the Batcaves. And Alfred knows that his health issues or of his bat suit are spiking rapidly. His heartbeat is beating rapidly. His pulse is going over the limit. He needs to get that antidote fast, and it feels like he has been poisoned with this fear toxin. It's like the fear toxin all over again, but this time no Scarecrow. Only just the poison bomb by Copperhead. Oh boy. Since Copperhead is like the contortionist, I wonder how anybody would try to stop Copperhead. He had to fight. Batman had to fight the illusions of Copperhead. Of course, he has this Hispanic accent. It sounds like she's from Brazil, perhaps. I don't know. Or from the tropics of Costa Rica. I have no idea. I mean, I'm not saying it is confusing, but she does sound Hispanic. Ow, got hit by a car. Good night. Ow. Oh boy. Hold on a second. You there! Hold still, me! Since he is able to defeat the illusions of Copperhead and finally the antidote has arrived thanks to Alfred's quickness and clever of technology he's used to, he is able to. The antidote was on its way down straight on the Sionis steel mill. Since Batman's able to put Copperhead under wraps, which he finally did, he put him under wraps completely. And so for that, he has to find the Joker, but to find him, he does remember about the electrocutioner, a.k.a. Lester Baczynski. So, if he wants to find the Joker, he might be able to find the electrocutioner that he emits an electromagnetic wave. He has to go on top of Pioneer's Bridge, able to find the electromagnetic wave and get a good lock on. And that would be the Gotham City Hotel, I suppose. So he heads there. But then all of a sudden, when he heads there, of course he could use the Batwing of some sort. There are officers surrounding the Gotham Hotel, you know, from where the employees were working at. If he captures the Joker, this entire crazy bounty hunting days of the Joker who hired assassins for like $10 million or $10 billion would be over. He had to get past through the officers of GCPD, very sneaky like. He had to go to the parking garage and straight into the hotel, starting under the parking garage. Getting to under there, stopping the thugs from inside the hotel on the main lobby. So he is at the main lobby, is stopping these stopping more of Joker's thugs in the main lobby of the hotel. Of course, Lester Baczynski is there along with Bane and Firefly, way to the tippity top of the floor of the Gotham's Twin Towers of Gotham's Twin Tower hotels, if you want to know. And there's this sky bridge, of course. He is able to get to the... So, if he wants to get to the top of the tower, he has to go find a way to look at these security cameras to know which room he is in. Which one of those two rooms he's in at. He got a good look and he knows exactly where to find the Joker of the rooms he's at with. Of course, the Joker kind of does not like to see some people who try to say this kind of talk or this kind of way. You try to disturb me of what and somewhat and so on and so forth. With Lester Baczynski, he started with right there.
I wonder if Commissioner Gordon will stick around now as Batman.
And you know, oh my. The Joker kind of does the oldie but a goodie. The same thing when he does like to push themselves out of the strap, those who are in a chair. He had to push them out of the way, if you want to know. So, he did. And Lester Baczynski fell all the way down, hitting the chandelier, and then smacking down right in the middle of it. And of course, he kinda died, which he actually did. He is the dead. Of course, but since Batman sees the electrocutioner's gloves, he might be able to find a way to power up generators that are out of order. That's right, generators that are out of order. If you want to know, no generators cannot be out of order, can still work, of course. Whichever works best for you. And so, he needs to go to the floors way up to the top. Of course, inside one of those towers of the Hotel Twin Towers. I'm sorry, I know I have to say those because they look like twins. Forgive me. I know it's painful, but I'm sorry. So for anyways, getting into the towers is one of Joker's fun house. Joker's inside amusement fun house of time and play. Of course, Batman has no choice but to play along with the Joker's funhouse gameplay. Like, it's kind of like the pin the tail on the donkey or stop the electricity with water thing. And not to mention more of Joker's thugs coming along. And it just doesn't get easier than this. And so, for that matter, he had to go going all around this madhouse completely. Of course, who was the wise guy who came up with the idea of how to create Joker's fun house anyways? Somebody did, of course. He did a bang-up job, of course, but this henchman who works with Joker had to be shot. So he was able to climb up. However, he had to stop a bomb, however, that was going to go off on New Year's Eve or New Year's. Or when the clock strikes 12, the bomb goes off. So Batman was able to disable the bomb before it was going to blow into bits on Christmas Eve and when the clock strikes 12 at midnight. But Joker said, "Ooh, you couldn't wait for me. Couldn't wait until New Year's, can you? So I decided to speed things up a little." Sorry, weak laugh. So even though he did disable it, there's no doubt about it. He did disable the bomb, however. More of Joker's thugs coming in along the way, if you want to know. So, yeah, more of Joker's thugs. And all of a sudden, guess who are coming into the party? Bane's henchmen, or Bane's army of soldiers who work for him. And yes, they got the Spanish or the Hispanic accent from Santa Prisca. So yes, they want to get a taste of the bat. Of course. It's a rooftop rumble anyways. Since he already knows that Batman did rescue all of the workers, including the skyline bar, you know, that connects between those two hotels with each other.
What's he doing? What's he doing?
So yeah, that is one way to put in on a show, if you want to know. So yes, more of Bane's thugs are gonna come in on a Predator area. Of course, they always like to plan ahead, and they set up for mines on those vantage points. Of course, Batman is always one step ahead, so he used this remote claw to try to stay hidden or find a place like an air vent or underneath the grates. Takes down all of Bane's thugs in a Predator room, even though the Joker tells him what to do. Of course, they kind of don't like the clown prince of crime, of course. So Batman took down all of them. And he is able to get inside the elevator. However, Bane is waiting for him because he says the Batman's coming for you. And yes, Bane was right. He waited for him, tried to stop Batman. Of course, the only reason why he came to stop the Batman is because he's having these ridiculous nightmares of some sort, which I kind of don't understand why he wanted to. I mean, he thought if he says if I kill the Batman, all my nightmares will be over and I will have peace because of your death, and you will be no more. Yeah, I mean, he thinks his nightmares has something to do with Batman. It was never Batman. The only thing that problem is worth is something wrong with him psychologically. That was never Batman, you fool. You give Hispanics a bad name, Bane. So it was down between Bane and Batman. Of course, the Joker was there, and he said, "You got 1 minute," because he has this little birthday party present, if you want to know. So yeah, the birthday party present that will blow up any one of the buildings. And yes, and he set it off on one of the buildings, and Batman says, "How many lives did you just take?" He says, "I don't know, maybe 1, 2, 0. But does it matter now?" But yeah, it matters to Batman so much. 1 life or more does matter to him of the Dark Knight. And you do not want to make Batman angry at this time of night. And so Batman is able to oh my. Come on. Okay, come out of the car, you thugs. Sorry, thug abuse. Too bad for you. So there was a standoff. of course, Bane had to be so super strong. He is smart, of course, but and Batman, however, wants to play it safe. Even though he can't go up ahead against Bane, he does activate this Venom formula that he carries with him that makes him super strong and superhuman strength, that he is able to crush bricks and like a toothpicks, or they'll break through walls like paper.
Oh God, what's he doing?
So yes.
Keep driving. That's what I think it is. It's Batman.
Oh boy. And the only way to stop Bane is that he had to use the electrocutioner's gloves that Batman carries. He has to give it a great big shock. He had to do this like several times in order to stop Bane, of course. It was not going to be easy, but the fight is definitely worth it. Ooh. So, since he is able to outbest Bane, he might be able to escape. Of course, he did escape on this helicopter, of course, and he did got out of it. Well, he didn't got out of it. He kind of shot an RPG rocket launcher in front of the Joker because this was getting an interesting party. But not the Batman, of course. He had to save the Joker's life. Of course, the Joker wanted to die. Of course, he wanted to break Batman's no-kill rule, but he had to save them. But Joker said, "Oh, back for more, hey?" I mean, yeah, he went back for more, but only he wanted to save him. Of course, he saved the Joker, and the Joker kind of, those people. Out of all people, why did you save me? I have been a very bad boy. And you should all know that there is no such thing as a good person, and you are just like me. So yeah, that was very much. Even though Troy Baker did a great job voicing as the Joker in a younger version pretty well of Arkham Origins.
You know, I kind of thought of Batman as a force of nature. This whole Wayne thing ruins it for me.
So, of course, there's Officer Brandon again, who tries to capture the Batman. Of course, the Batman, like he always does, gets away, and Brandon and his officers open fire at him, but they kind of missed. And James Gordon, the captain of the squad, he says, "Let me guess, he got away." And Brandon just gives a look down with a facepalm moment. And then, and there is Harvey Bullock. He says, Where's the Batman? Your partner. And it says, "My partner? Yeah, who's the one who's trying to save your sorry butt?" He says, "To be honest, I'm beginning to wonder too." And yeah, I mean, the Joker finds it very interesting. Why does Batman want to save people, even criminals? He does not want to kill. He just wants them to teach them a lesson by not doing the same stupid things over and over again. He is Bat Dad, or the Bat Parent. If you want to know, if you think about it, that is. So, the Bat Parent. Of course, we had the moments with the Joker. Now that he's finally back to Blackgate Prison, everything was over, but not with the other people, such as Firefly and Bane, who are still at large around Gotham City. Of course, he will not rest. The Joker's storyline, however, was very interesting. It definitely shows about the part of the killing, well, not the killing joke, more like how he was wearing a giant fishbowl. How is he wearing this? It started to become interesting, like, oh my, it's not the Killing Joke, but more of the becoming of the first Red Hood. I mean, Red Hood came in like second from Jason Todd, okay? So, that one I can give you. Oh my. So, for that matter, Joker was actually having a chat with Harleen Quinzel. Yes, Harleen Quinzel is in it. So, yeah, pretty amazing if you ask me. Harleen Quinzel. Very much indeed, haha. Yeah, Joker's mind in reality is completely twisted, and he sees things what any other normal human being could see beyond that. You have to be crazy in order to find out what is going on inside the Joker's mind, and it is not that easy. Oh boy. He had to beat up these thugs, however, in order to stay sane, of course. It is just the way that I see the Joker, how he reacts, or how the way he looks at, or somehow. And, you know, he sees like this madhouse of becoming the first Red Hood. Unbelievable. I mean, he has like a tragic story. He thinks he doesn't know when or what's going to happen, and all of a sudden yeah, things are gonna get worse. Oh, that final confrontation, if you want to know. So, for that matter, he kind of, Batman usually thought it was just another mugger or thug, and he kind of did go on for the attack, of course. But he wanted to save him somewhat, and so on and so forth. I have no idea what Batman was doing by the time then, before this guy became the Joker. It's just not saying this is gonna go either way. Oh my. So yeah. Hello there. The Joker's mind is just very twisted and dark, even though for those people who are having fun playing as the Joker for a little while, and it just, yeah, very interesting to see how Joker's world and nightmare really feels like, and it's just absolutely kind of interesting, and it also is dark. Of course, Batman, however, his storyline and why he wanted to save as many civilians and people. Of course, he's starting to see the memories of his dead parents walking into Crime Alley. And yeah, I mean, he's starting to have these momentary relapses, judgments of his parents being shot by a gunman because anyway, he wants to try to do the right thing. Oh my. Hello there. Good night. And so, for that matter, since Alfred was kind of making him snap out of it all of a sudden, he says, "Sir, I do believe your projectile weapon is ready for use." And Batman says, "You mean the glue grenade?" And Alfred said, "Yes, the glue grenade is ready." Of course, he wants it. Of course, Alfred told him to test it out first, but he says, "I will. This is just field testing." Even though he says, "Even though you do not listen to me, no matter what I say," that goes to show you. So yeah, even though from what he said is worth it, I'm pretty sure he's somehow listening. And then after Alfred is starting to feel he is starting to feel angry, having so much anguish, he couldn't take this anymore. He says, Master Bruce, stop! I will not allow you to continue further on." He says, "I'm what? You're not some hard criminal vigilante. You're weighing at so much anger. I don't want you to try. I care for your concern, and I don't want this to be your end." And Batman says, "Alfred, when you look at me, what do you see? The boy that used to tie his shoestrings every morning? The boy who went out on his first date while you were here. You are here while I am out there. And I stand between the innocent and the predator. No, you're not. Some man, you are, but not maybe. I am. When a mugger or a thief thinks twice, that is stops twice by trying to steal a purse, and then someone comes in for the rescue or the save, that is fear. That is what I am. That is how I strike criminals' hearts with fear. So no, Alfred, I am not over in my head. Tonight will not be my end, but it will be theirs." And so he left on that with the Batwing from, yeah. It's kind of brutal for this conversation. Even though with so much anger issues, and this is a year 2 Batman, of course. But I do believe we are going to stop here for the time being. And don't worry, we're going to continue to pick up from where we left off for part 3 of the Arkham Origins storyline. Thanks for watching. And don't forget to like, comment, favorite, and subscribe. And tell me, what do you guys think of Batman Arkham Origins of that game? Not to mention Arkham Twin Days. Mash that like button if you love Arkham Twin Days so much of this new series here. So once again, every Tuesdays and Thursdays only. This is Leo Wolverine saying and speaking as always as your sensational, amazing Spider-Man who takes chances, makes mistakes, and get messy. In Leo's Let's Plays Alliance, Godspeed, play safe, and shalom. Remember, the Dark Knight is always watching you, and so am I. And why? Because we'll be back for more of Arkham Twin Days once again. See you guys next week.